The zombie apocalypse has long been a horror staple, offering a terrifying mix of survival, societal collapse, and the breakdown of humanity. But in 2010, Stakeland took this familiar concept and injected it with fresh terror by replacing zombies with vampires. The result was a brutal, emotionally driven road movie that delivered a more intense, unforgiving version of the end of the world. Despite flying under the radar commercially, Stakeland remains a hidden gem among horror fans. Its blend of classic apocalypse tropes, terrifying monsters, and deep character relationships sets it apart from countless other survival films. Vampires over zombies, a deadlier threat. Unlike the slow-moving hordes of traditional zombie films, the vampires in Stakeland are fast, relentless, and terrifyingly intelligent. Their animalistic hunger is combined with a level of cunning that makes them far more dangerous than the undead typically seen in apocalyptic horror. Survivors can't simply outlast them or wait for them to decay. The vampires are hunters, actively seeking human prey. The film follows Martin, a young survivor, and Mr., a hardened vampire hunter, as they travel across a devastated America in search of safety. Along the way, they encounter scattered settlements and lone survivors struggling to hold onto hope. But Stakeland doesn't just focus on the monstrous undead. It also highlights how, in a world without order, humans can be just as dangerous as the creatures stalking them. The Brotherhood, a horror worse than monsters. No apocalypse story is complete without a human threat, and Stakeland introduces one of the most chilling antagonists in the genre, the Brotherhood. This extremist militia sees the vampire outbreak as divine punishment and takes it upon themselves to spread the infection, believing it is God's will. Led by the fanatical Jebediah Lovin, the Brotherhood doesn't just kill survivors, they enslave them, terrorize them, and even unleash vampires upon their settlements. Lovin himself is a standout villain. Unlike mindless vampires, he is cruel, calculating, and driven by blind faith. His personal vendetta against Mr. leads to some of the film's most intense moments, culminating in a shocking twist. Lovin becomes the first vampire to retain his mind after turning. This transformation makes him the perfect final foe, forcing Mr. and Martin to face an enemy who is both supernatural and deeply personal. A story of survival, growth, and loss. Beyond the action and horror, Stakeland is ultimately a story about human connection. Unlike many apocalypse films that focus on large groups of survivors, this film keeps its story intimate. At its heart is the bond between Martin and Mr., a mentor-student dynamic that evolves into something deeper. Martin starts the film as a helpless boy, but grows into a hardened survivor, shaped by his experiences on the road. Meanwhile, Mr., a loner hardened by loss, slowly regains his humanity through his relationship with Martin. Their journey is as much about emotional survival as it is about fighting monsters. In the end, Stakeland leaves viewers with a bittersweet conclusion. Mr., recognizing that Martin has become capable of surviving on his own, quietly leaves him to start a new life. It's a rare moment of hope in an otherwise bleak world, showing that even in the darkest times, bonds can still shape and save people. Why Stakeland deserves more recognition. While Stakeland never achieved mainstream success, it remains a standout in the horror genre. It took the well-worn apocalypse formula and revitalized it with vicious vampires, a terrifying human threat, and a deeply emotional story. Its unique approach to horror, combined with strong world-building and well-developed characters, ensures that it remains a cult favorite among those who have discovered it. For anyone looking for a horror film that offers both brutal scares and meaningful storytelling, Stakeland is an underrated masterpiece that deserves far more attention.